Hi everybody, it's Tim. It is the 4th day of January and it's actually really warm out here in the Northeast. It's so warm, as you can see, I can't even see across the Hudson River right now. Normally I can see the other side just beautifully, but there's lots of fog. So it's a foggy, sunny day, but I'm opening up all the palms, and if you look out here, I've got everything out on the deck, which is great. All my small palms are out here getting some rain. We got some rain last night and some rain this morning, so it's really good for them, and I'm checking everything for bugs and disease. So I'm going to just show you what I'm opening up out here and you can see what's going on. But it's nice to be in the middle of January or the beginning of January and getting to check on everything. So this is one of my smaller Washingtonia robustas right here. I've got a few smaller ones. Well, I've got many smaller ones up on the deck, but of my ones outside, this is one of my smaller ones. So just to explain the setup here, I like having a halfway mark, or even sometimes a little bit lower, where I can take off the top and check on the plant without disturbing the soil and everything else that I've piled up against the side. So today, it's actually warm enough. You can see my breath just because it's so foggy out here, but it's actually really nice. I can actually check on everything. So if I look at this, it looks in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of just some brown spots down here, but for the most part, it looks really green. It's nice and dry. Everything seems to be working. I'm pretty happy with it. I will kind of pan up in a second and just show you that I do have a barrier up there to kind of keep the moisture from raining down onto the palm. I learned that from James Palms. You can watch his videos too. And but yeah, it's just a good day to check on everything. And this one's doing really, really well, so I'm happy. So I'm going to just kind of pan up here for you and just show you can see that there's a barrier up there in between the two, and that just kind of keeps the water from dripping down on it. Now, ideally, I would not even have that palm touching that barrier, but it's growing. I mean, I can raise it a little bit more, but probably this season coming in, by the time I winterize it in the fall, please don't let that come too soon. It will be time to raise this up a little bit more from the bottom. So that's what's going on with this Washi. So it's a super foggy day today, still foggy. Sun is trying to come through. Just to show a little bit of my setup here, this is one of my Chinese fan palms. Doesn't quite fit in the box. I have to mash it down, and that's not a good thing to do, so please don't do that. Just to kind of explain my system here, I have this little temperature gauge that tells me what's going on in there, so it's 53 in there. I actually can plug in these ambient lights that are just a few to keep it at a decent temperature just during the day and everything, not like well above freezing. But then I have a thermocube with a whole different set of lights way down in here. I can zoom in. I don't know if it's going to zoom in right now. Yes, down there you can see the thermocube. And that will come on in the box if it gets too cold. Now, it's looking pretty good. It's green, especially down here. Up here where it's hitting the vapor barrier, where it's smashed a little bit, maybe not the best, but that's more my fault. You can see there. So while I'm out here, I thought I would let you look at my Yucca rostrata. So this is taller than me now. It's by a couple of inches. It does really, really well. The first year that I got it, I was nervous about it and I covered it up, and it looked horrible afterwards. And everybody was like, do not cover this up in zone 6. It does not need it. And what happens with it, you see all the nice green on the top. As it gets older, the bottom ones start to get brown, and you can cut them off, you can leave them. You can style your Yucca rostrata. So that's something you could do. I kind of like this shape, but I may try something different this year. We will see. And then several of you are like, why don't you have any smaller sables, and I've had this one for several years. I have no idea what kind it is. I cover it up with this trash can with some lights if it gets super cold, because it was, but I haven't covered it. I usually don't cover this one at all. I had some other ones and they were not successful leaving out here, but this one is going strong here. Not very big, but looks pretty good. And then these are all my bananas that are covered up here. My tricky carpus there, up there obviously, they're really tall. And then I have another Yucca rostrata over here, and then I want to show you another one of my smaller Washingtonias in here. It's looking pretty good. It's got one bad branch that I broke when I was wrapping it up, but it's in decent shape. And as you can see up here, it's not completely airtight, as you can see, so it gets to breathe. So happy with that. That one looks pretty good. Another gigantic trucky carpus. And then here is my problem one over here, my problem guy. This is my Pindo palm. So it's green, but if you look on my videos from the fall, it has some yellow at the top and a couple of branches, but it's alive, so I'm happy with that. I just want to get this thing looking really green in the spring, and I've got room for it to grow here. Up there, there's the vapor barrier. So happy with that. So hopefully this will do pretty well. Just got to get it through the next couple of months now. So now on to the big Washi, which is up in here. So I've opened it up to get a good look at it, and I'm gonna see if I can climb up the ladder here so you can see it better in here. Hopefully I can like give you a better look in there. So it's definitely green. It's looking pretty good. Still got a little room for it to grow. And this one just got massive this year. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of what I did. You didn't watch on the other video. I actually added 2 feet onto the bottom of this to give me more room in here. So just to give you a look up in here, it's looking pretty good. It's massive. Just don't know how long. And I got this tree from Fast Growing Trees, and it came in the mail. And the trunk is pretty massive. You can see the thermocube down there, and that kind of gives you an idea of how massive the tree is. I don't think it's as wide as James Palm's really nice Washingtonia he has, and that right there is my sensor that I can read from the house up there and see what's going on in there. So I'm leaving this open today so it gets some air in there, but it's doing pretty well. Not my best design here. This is probably the very first one I did, but I'm gonna keep making it work while I can.